yes, this is what I sound like when I wake up in the mornings. Here we go. Here we go. Who is he? Is he a tragedy or is he a funny boy? Who is he? Where does he live? Timon of Athens. It's tragedy. 1744 is the page number, not the year. Do 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 do. Copyrighted music on stream. It's probably going to have a pretty loose feel to it. But here we go. What does it say? What are the... Timon, a rich Athenian, is famous for his liberality. God damn it! As the play opens, a group of people is gathering outside his house, waiting for him to offer gifts or beg favours. There's much talk of his generosity and open-heartedness, which is immediately borne out when he appears paying a friend's debts to free him from prison. Oh, that's nice. Giving money to a servant to allow him to marry. Only the cynical philosopher, Apemantus, has doubts about the sincerity of Timon's friends. The young general Alcibiades is warmly welcomed by Timon, who invites him and other friends to a banquet at which there is more distribution. Timon's steward Flavius realizes that he's broke. They all turn away from him. He throws another banquet somehow. Oh, do. Everybody gets banished. Oh, there's that great speech by the walls. Okay, and then I won't spoil that bit. Okay. Alright. Here we go. The tea has soy in it, of course. Give me a minute to fill this up. I had broccoli in my tea because I had raw broccoli for breakfast. Okie dokie. Here we go. Timon of Athens. So, here comes a poet, a painter, a jeweler, a merchant, brackets, a mercer, at several doors. So the poet says, "Good day, sir." And the painter says, "I'm glad you're well. I have not seen you long. How goes the world?" "It wears, sir, as it grows." "Aye, that's well known. But what particular rarity? What strange? What manifold record not matches? See, magic of bounty, all these spirits thy power hath conjured to attend. I know the merchant. I know them both. The other's a jeweller." "Oh, 'tis a worthy lord." "Nay, that's most fixed." It's the merchant and jeweller. "A most incomparable man, breathed as it were to an untirable and continuate goodness. He passes. I have a jewel here. Oh, pray let's see it. For the Lord Timon, sir, if he will touch the estimate. But for that, here comes Lord Timon with Lucilius and several of his servants. And he says, addressing himself courteously to every suitor, he says, "Hello, good morning, hello." Very Rowan Atkinson for some reason in my head. "Imprisoned is he, say you?" And the messenger says, "Aye, my good lord, 5 talents is his debt. He means most short, his creditors most straight. Your honourable letter he desires to have those shut him up, which failing periods his comfort." "Oh, noble Ventidius. Well, I'm not of that feather to shake off my friend when he must need me. I do know him a gentleman that well deserves a help, which he shall have. I'll pay the debt and free him. Your lordship ever binds him. Oh, commend me to him. I will send his ransom, and being enfranchised, bid him come to me. 'Tis not enough to help the feeble up, but to support him after. Fare you well. All happiness to your honour." And so the messenger goes. And in comes an old man who says, it says old man, says, "Lord Timon, Lord Timon, hear me speak." "Freely, good father." "Thou hast a servant named Lucilius." "Oh, I have, sir. What of him?" "Most noble Timon, call the man before thee." "Oh, attends he here or no?" Lucilius?" "Here, at your lordship's service." This fellow here, Lord Timon, this thy creature, by night frequents my house. I am a man that from my first have been inclined to thrift, and my estate deserves an heir more raised than one which holds a trencher. Well, what further? Only one daughter have I, no kin else, on whom I may confer what I have got. The maid is fair, the youngest for a bride, and I have bred her at my dearest cost in qualities of the best. This man of thine attempts her love. I prithee, noble lord, join with me to forbid him her resort. Myself have spoke in vain. Well, the man is honest. Therefore he will be, Timon. His honesty rewards him in itself. It must not bear my daughter. Does she love him? She is young and apt. Our own precedent passions do instruct us what levities in youth. Love you the maid? Ay, my good lord, and she accepts of it. If in her marriage my consent be missing, I call the gods to witness. I will choose mine heir from forth the beggars of the world, and dispossess her all. How shall she be endowed if she be mated with an equal husband? 3 talents on the present, in future all. This gentleman of mine hath served me long. To build his fortune I will strain a little, for 'tis a bond in men. Give him thy daughter. What you bestow in him I'll counterpoise, and make him way with her. Most noble lord, pawn me to this your honour. She is his. My hand to thee, mine honour and my promise. Humbly I thank your lordship. Never may the state or fortune fall into my keeping which is not owed to you. And then they leave. So Timon's nice guy. Timon of Athens, he's a nice guy. Oh, thank you for reminding me. I need to put the name of the play on the screen. Timon and Pumbaa. Currently reading Timon of Athens. Thank you for reminding me. Let me see the book of words. What is coming next? After that, Henry V. One of my faves. Hope my voice is warmed up by then. Bing! There we are. Timon of Athens. Timon of Athens. We're in ancient Athens. Timon's a nice guy. That's what it is. Oh. Yeah, there we are. So the poet comes in. The poet gives him a poem and says, "Vouchsafe my labour, and long live your lordship." "Ah, thank you. You shall hear from me anon. Go not away. What have you there, my friend?" "A piece of painting, which I do beseech your lordship to accept." "Painting is welcome. The painting is almost the natural man, for since dishonour traffics with man's nature, he is but outside. These pencil figures are even such as they give out. I like your work, and you shall find I like it. Wait attendance till you hear further from me. Oh, the gods preserve you. Well, fare you, gentlemen. Give me your hand. We must needs dine together. Oh, sir, your jewel hath suffered under praise." "Oh, what, my lord, dispraise?" "Oh, a mere satiety of commendations. If I should pay you for it, as 'tis extolled, it would unclue me quite. Oh, my lord, 'tis rated as those which sell would give, but you well know things of like value differing in the owners are prized by their masters. Believe it, dear lord, you mend the jewel by the wearing it." Ha ha, well mocked. Here comes Apemantus. "Oh, no, my good lord, he speaks the common tongue which all men speak with him. Oh, look, who comes here? Will you be chid?" "We'll bear with your lordship. He'll spare none. Good morrow to thee, gentle Apemantus." "Till I be gentle, stay thou for thy good morrow, when thou art Timon's dog, and these knaves honest." "Why dost thou call them knaves? Thou knowest them not." "Are they not Athenians?" "Yes." "Then I repent not." And the jeweller says, "Oh, you know me, Apemantus?" "Thou knowest I do. I called thee by thy name." "Thou art proud, Apemantus." "Of nothing so much as that I am not like Timon." "Whither art thou going?" "To knock out an honest Athenian's brains." "That's a deed thou'lt die for." Right, if doing nothing be right, if doing nothing be death by the law." "How likest thou this picture, Apemantus?" "The best for the innocents." "Wrought he not well that painted it?" "He wrought it better than made the painter, but yet he's but a filthy piece of work." And the painter's like, "You're a dog." "Thy mother's of my generation. What's she if I be a dog?" He's just like, "Nah, your mum." "Wilt dine with me, Apemantus?" "No, I eat not lords." "And thou shouldst, thou'd anger ladies." "Oh, they eat lords, so they come by great bellies." Okay. That's a lascivious apprehension. "So thou apprehendst it, take it for thy labour." How dost thou like this jewel, Apemantus? Not so well as plain dealing, which will not cost a man a doit. What dost thou think 'tis worth? Not worth my thinking. How now, poet? How now, philosopher? Thou liest. Art not one? Yes. Then I lie not. Art not a poet? Yes. Then thou liest. Look in thy last work, where thou hast feigned him a worthy fellow. That's not feigned, he is so. Yes, he is worthy of thee, and to pay thee for thy labour. He that loves to be flattered is worthy of the flatterer. Heavens, that I were a lord. What wouldst do then, Apemantus? E'en as Apemantus does now, hate a lord with my heart. What, thyself? Aye. Wherefore? That I had no angry wit to be a lord. Art not thou a merchant? Aye, Apemantus? Traffic confound thee if the gods will not. If traffic do it, the gods do it. Traffic's thy god, and thy god confound thee. So Apemantus is a dick, and he sounds a lot like Piccolo from Dragon Ball Z. Anyway, trumpet sounds. In comes a messenger. What trumpet's that? Oh, 'tis Alcibiades and some 20 horse, all of companionship. Oh, pray entertain them, give them guide to us. You must needs dine with me. Go not you hence till I have thanked you. When dinner's done, show me this place. I am joyful of your sights. Alcibiades comes in. Oh, most welcome, sir. Apemantus says, So there, aches contract and starve your supple joints, that there should be some small love amongst these sweet knaves and all this courtesy. The strain of man spread out into baboon and monkey. And Alcibiades comes in and says, Sir, you have saved my longing, and I feel most hungrily on your sight. Right welcome, sir. Ere we depart, we'll share a bounteous time in different pleasures. Pray you, let us in. And everybody except Apemantus leaves. Oh, Alcibiades is let me check, is his servant, so I might give him a bit of an accent just to differentiate him. Let me just double check. This is a really good little addition in the RSC because it gives me all of the... Oh no, Alcibiades is a soldier. Okay. Oh, hence the trumpets, I suppose. So in comes two lords who I think are just taking the piss out of Apemantus. And one of them says, what time of day is it, Apemantus? Time to be honest. That time serves still. The most accursed thou that still amidst it. Thou art going to Lord Timon's feast? Aye, to see meat-fill knaves and wine-heat fools. Fare thee well, fare thee well. Thou art a fool to bid me farewell twice. Why, Apemantus? Shouldst have kept one to thyself, for I mean to give thee none. Oh! Hang thyself! No, I will do nothing at thy bidding. Make thy requests to thy friend. Away, unpeaceable dog, or I'll spurn thee hence. I will fly, like a dog, the heels of the ass. And so he leaves. He's opposite to humanity. Come, shall we in and taste Lord Timon's bounty? Here goes the very heart of kindness. He pours it out. Plutus, the god of gold, is but his steward. No meed, but he repays sevenfold above itself. No gift to him, but breeds the giver a return extending all use of quittance. The noblest mind he carries that ever governed man. Long may he live in fortunes. Shall we in? I'll keep you company. So they go in. He's really nice. Did you get that? Timon's really, really nice. It's like the Falstaff fat thing. They're really just laying it on. They don't want you to miss it. He's nice. So, Act 1, Scene 2. Here come some Hort boys playing loud music. A great banquet is served, and then in comes Timon. All the Athenian lords. Alcibiades is there. Ventidius is there, which Timon just got out of prison, you'll remember from Scene 1. And then comes, dropping after all, Apemantus discontentedly, like himself. There's a lot more... I wonder when this one was written, because there's a lot more like characterization in the stage directions. It's quite a different one. About 1604. Okay. So it's reasonably mature. I wonder if he had some help in it. Anyway. Here comes Ventidius. Oh, he's just got out of prison. Most honoured Timon, it hath pleased the gods to remember my father's age and call him in a long peace. He's gone happy and has left me rich. then as in grateful virtue I am bound to your free heart, I do return those talents, that's money, doubled with thanks and service from whose help I derive liberty. Oh, by no means, honest Ventidius, you mistake my love, I give it freely ever, and there's none can truly say he gives it if he receives. If our betters play at that game, we must not dare to imitate them. Faults that are rich are fair. And Ventidius says, oh, a noble spirit. Everybody stands up. Oh, nay, my lords, ceremony was but devised at first to set a gloss on faint deeds, hollow welcomes, recanting goodness, sorry ere 'tis shown. But where there is true friendship, there needs none. Pray sit. More welcome are you to my fortunes than my fortunes to me. And the first says, my lord, we've always confessed it. And Apemantus says, oh, confessed it. Hanged it, have you not? Oh, Apemantus, you are welcome. No, you shall not make me welcome. I come to have thee thrust me out of doors. Fie, thou art a churl. You've got a humour there, does not become a man. 'Tis much to blame. They say, my lords, ira furor brevis est. But yond man is ever angry. Go let him have a table by himself, for he does not affect company, nor is he fit for it, indeed. Let me stay at thine apparel, Timon. I come to observe. I give thee warning on't. I take no heed of thee. Thou art an Athenian, therefore welcome. I myself would have no power. Prithee, let my meat make thee silent. I scorn thy meat, 'twould choke me. For I should ne'er flatter thee. O you gods, what a number of men eats Timon, and he sees him not. It grieves me to see so many dip their meat in one man's blood, and all the madnesses he cheers them up to. I wonder men dare trust themselves with men. Methinks they should invite them without knives. Good for their meat and safer for their lives. There's much example for it. The fellow that sits next to him now parts bread with him, pledges the breath of him in a divided draught, is the readiest man to kill him. It has been proved. If I were a huge man, I should fear to drink at meals, lest they should spy my windpipe's dangerous notes. Great men should drink with harness on their throats. My lord, in heart, and let the health go round. Let it flow this way, my good lord. Flow this way. A brave fellow, he keeps his tides well. Those healths will make the endless state look ill. Timon, here's that which is too weak to be a sinner. Honest water which ne'er left man in the mire. This and my food are equals, there's no odds. Feasts are too proud to give thanks to the gods. Immortal gods, I crave no pelf, I pray for no man but myself. Grant I may never prove so fond to trust man on his oath or bond, or a harlot for her weeping, or a dog that seems a sleeping, or a keeper with my freedom, or my friends if I should need 'em. Amen, so full to it. Rich men sin, and I eat root. Much good ditch thy good heart, Apemantus. Meanwhile, at Timon's table. Captain Alcibiades, your heart's in the field now. Oh, my heart is ever at your service, my lord. You'd rather be at a breakfast of enemies than a dinner of friends. So they were bleeding new, my lord. There's no meat like 'em. I could wish my best friend at such a feast. Would all the flatterers were thine enemies, then that thou mightst kill them and bid me to 'em? Oh, no, that's Apemantus. Would all those flatterers were thine enemies, then, that thou mightst kill 'em and bid me to 'em? The first lord says, might we but have that happiness, my lord, and you would use our hearts whereby we might express some part of our zeals, we should think ourselves forever perfect. Oh, no doubt, my good friends, but the gods themselves have provided that I shall have much help from you. How had you been my friends else? Why have you that charitable title from thousands? Did you not chiefly belong to my heart? I have told more of you to myself than you can with modesty speak in your own behalf, and thus far I confirm you. Oh, you gods, think I, what need we have any friends, if we should ne'er have need of 'em? They were the most needless creatures living, should we ne'er have use for 'em, and would most resemble sweet instruments hung up in cases that keeps their sound to themselves. Why I have often wished myself poorer, that I might come nearer to you. We are born to do benefits, and what better or properer we can call our own than the riches of our friends? Oh, what a precious comfort 'tis to have so many like brothers, commanding one another's fortunes. Our joys e'en make aware ere it can be borne. Mine eyes cannot hold out water, methinks. To forget their faults, I drink to you. He goes, way. Thou weepst to make them drink, Timon. Joy had like the light conception in our eyes, and at that instant like a babe sprung up. Ho ho, I laugh to think that babe a bastard. I promise you, my lord, you move me much. Much. And then suddenly, what means that trump? How now? I assume he means the trumpet, and it's not just like a very, very prescient reference. What means that trump? Let's change the topic. Enter servant. Please you, my lord, there are certain ladies most desirous... Oh. Please you, my lord, there are certain ladies most desirous of admittance. Ladies? What are their wills? There comes with them a forerunner, my lord, which bears that office to signify their pleasures. I pray let them be admitted. Enter Cupid, with a masque of ladies. So all masked ladies. And Cupid says, Hail to thee, worthy Timon, and to all that of his bounties taste. The 5 best senses acknowledge thee their patron, and come freely to gratulate thy plenteous bosom. Their taste, touch, all pleased from thy table rise. They only come now, but to feast thine eyes. So, look but don't touch. They're welcome all. Let them have kind admittance. Music, make their welcome. You see, my lord, how ample you're beloved. Enter the masques of Amazons, with lutes in their hands, dancing and playing. So all these beautiful girls arrive, all playing music. Yeah, this is kind of when you're Timon, you throw a party, then this happens. Moral of the story is, be nice and girls will come to your party. And Apemantus says, Hoy day, what a sweep of vanity comes this way. They dance, they are mad women. Like madness is the glory of this life. It's just becoming more and more like a goth at a party. Like, nothing wrong with goths, but you know what I mean, like the kind of like just a miserable git. As this pomp shows to a little oil and root, we make ourselves fools to disport ourselves and spend our flatteries to drink those men upon whose age we voided up again with poisonous spite and envy. Who lives that's not depraved, or depraves? Who dies that bears not one spurn to their graves or their friend's gift? I should fear those that dance before me now would one day stamp upon me. 'Twas been done. Men shut their doors against a setting sun. So he's basically Onision. Sorry, 1 second. I'm just having fun on my own at the moment. I mean, yeah. Cheers. Are we thinking about... Oh, no, let's go. Anyway. So the lords all get up. They're all going to go, I think. Oh, no, they're not. With much adoring of Timon, they say, hey, great party, dude. And then they show their loves, each single out an Amazon. So they each pick a girl. They all dance with a lofty strain or two to the Hawk Boys. Everyone has a big party. Ooh, a big sexy dance. And then Timon says, You have done our pleasures much grace, fair ladies. Set a fair fashion on our entertainment, which was not half as beautiful and kind. You have added worth unto it, and lustre, and entertain me with mine own device. That was the other lord, that wasn't Timon. And entertain me with mine own device. I am to thank you for it. My lord, you take us even at the best. Faith, for the worst is filthy, and would not hold taking. I doubt me. Ladies, there is an idle banquet attends you. Please you to dispose yourself. Oh, most thankfully, my lord. Woo, woo. So Cupid and the ladies go to the buffet, and Timon says, Flavius? Who's Flavius? Who shall Flavius be? Let me look. Need to start distinguishing these characters. Flavius. He's not in here, so I guess he's... Oh no, he's the steward. Oh, he's a okay. He's like chief servant, I guess. Flavius, my lord. The little casket bring me hither. Yes, my lord. More jewels yet. There is no crossing him in humour, else I should tell him well. If I should, when all's spent, he'd be cross then, and he could. 'Tis pity bounty had not eyes behind. The man might ne'er be wretched for his mind. Flavius goes. Where be our men? Here, my lord, in readiness. Our horses. Flavius comes back. Oh, my friends, I have one word to say to you. Look you, my good lord, I must entreat you honour me so much as to advance this jewel. Accept it and wear it. Kind, my lord, I am so far already in your gates. Yeah, so are we all. So they're all leaving, and they're gonna just giving out jewels. Great party. A servant comes in. My lord, there are certain nobles of the Senate newly alighted and come to visit you. They are fairly welcome. I beseech your honour, vouchsafe me one word, it does concern you near. Near? Why then another time I'll hear thee. I prithee, let's be provided to show them entertainment. I scarce know how. Another servant comes in. May it please your honour, Lord Lucius, out of his free love, hath presented to you 4 milk-white horses trapped in silver. I shall accept them fairly. Let the presents be worthily entertained. Third servant comes in. How now? What news? Please you, my lord, that honourable gentleman, Lord Lucullus, entreats your company tomorrow to hunt with him, and has sent your honour 2 brace of greyhounds. I'll hunt with him, and let them be received not without fair reward. It's a bit of a. I mean, if you give someone how many greyhounds? 2 brace, so like a lot of greyhounds. They've got to take care of them and like clean up greyhound poop. Like, that's not a very nice gift, to be honest. Ooh, all the honey I put in my tea sunk to the bottom. Anyway, he's just gotten 4 horses, 2 braces of greyhounds. And Flavius says, what will this comes to? He commands us to provide and give great gifts, all out of an empty coffer. Nor will he know his purse or yield me this to show him what a beggar his heart is, being of no power to make his wishes good. His promises fly so beyond his state that what he speaks is all in debt. He owes for every word. He is so kind that he now pays interest for it. His lands put to their books, well, what I would gently put out of office before I were forced out. Happier to see that it has no friend to feed than such that doing enemies exceed. I bleed inwardly for my lord. So he leaves. So Timon's broke. You do yourselves much wrong. You bate too much of your own merits. Here, my lord, a trifle of our love. With more than common thanks I will receive it. Oh, he's the very soul of bounty. And now I remember, my lord, you gave good words the other day of a bay courser I rode on. 'Tis yours because you liked it. I beseech your pardon, my lord, in that you may take my word, my lord. I know no man can justly praise but what he doth affect. I weigh my friend's affection with mine own. I'll tell you true, I'll call to you. I know it says, oh, none so welcome. Everybody loves Timon. He's a great guy. I take all in your several visitations so kind to heart. 'Tis not enough to give. Methinks I could deal kingdoms to my friends and ne'er be weary. Alcibiades, thou art a soldier, therefore seldom rich. It comes in charity to thee, for all thy living is amongst the dead, and all the lands thou hast lie in a pitched field. Gives him a gift. I defiled land, my lord. First, we are so virtuously bound, and so am I to you. So infinitely endeared, all to you. Lights, more lights. The best of happiness. Honour and fortunes keep with you, Lord Timon. Woo! Ready for his friends. Everyone leaves. I love to see you. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. Here's your code. Take my shoes. Take my wife. What are coils here? Serving of becks and jutting out of bums. I doubt whether their legs be worth the sums that are given for them. Friendship's full of dregs. Methinks false hearts should never have sound legs. Thus honest fools lay out their wealth on curtsies. Now, Apemantus, if thou wert not sullen, I would be good to thee. No, I'll nothing, for I should be bribed too. There would be none left to rail upon thee, and then thou wouldst sin the faster. Thou givest so long, Timon, I fear me thou wilt give away thyself in paper shortly. What needs these feasts, pomps, and vain glories? Nay, and you begin to rail on society once I'm not sworn to give regard to you. Farewell, and come with better music. Timon leaves. So, thou wilt not hear me now, thou shalt not then. I'll lock thy heaven from thee. Oh, that men's ears should be to counsel death, but not to flattery. And so he leaves. So, party time. So, Act 2, Scene 2. In comes a senator with bonds in his hand. Well, he's a senator, so. And late 5,000 to Vera and to Isidore. He owes 9,000 besides my former sum, which makes it 5 and 20. Still in motion of raging waste, it cannot hold, it will not. If I want gold, steal but a beggar's dog and give it to Timon, while the dog coins gold. If I would sell my horse and buy 20 more better than he, why, give my horse to Timon. Ask nothing, give it him, it foals me straight in able horses. No porter at his gate, but rather one that smiles and still invites all that pass by. It cannot hold, no reason can sound his state in safety. Caiaphas, ho! Caiaphas, I say. In comes Caiaphas. Here, sir, what's your pleasure? Get on your cloak and haste you to Lord Timon. Importune him for my moneys. Be not ceased with slight denial, nor then silenced when commend me to your master, and the cap plays in the right hand thus. But tell him my uses cry to me. I must serve my turn out of my own. His days and times are past, and my reliances on his fracted dates have smit my credit. I love and honor him, but must not break my back to heal his finger. Immediate are my needs, and my relief must not be tossed and turned to me in words, but find supply immediate. Get you gone. Put on a more importune aspect, a visage of demand, for I do fear when every feather sticks in his own wing, Lord Timon will be left a naked gull, which flashes now a phoenix. Get you gone. I go, sir. I go, sir. Take the bonds along with you, and have the dates in. Come. I will, sir. Go. So they're gonna, Timon owes the money. Benjamin of Athens, says the chap. So in comes Flavius with bills in his hand. No care, no stop, no senseless of expense, that he will neither know how to maintain it, nor cease his flow of riot, takes no account how things go from him, nor resume no care of what is to continue. Never mind. Was to be so unwise, to be so kind. What shall be done, he will not hear till feel. I must be round with him. Now he comes from hunting. 5. Caiaphas comes in. The servants meet, so do Isidore and Varro, who they're dudes, and then their servants meet. Good even, Varro. What, you come for money? It's not your business too? It is, and yours too, Isidore. It is so. Would we were all discharged. I fear it. Here comes the Lord. Timon comes in, with Alcibiades. So soon as dinner's done, we'll forth again, my Alcibiades. With me? What's your will? My lord, here is a note of certain dues. Dues? Whence are you? Of Athens here, my lord. Go to my steward. Please that your lordship, he hath put me off to the succession of new days this month. My master is awaked by great occasion to call upon his own, and humbly praise you that with your other noble parts you'll suit in giving him his right. Mine honest friend, I prithee but repair to me next morning. Nay, good my lord. Contain thyself, good friend. One Varro's servant, my good lord. From Isidore, he humbly begs your speedy payment. If you did know, my lord, my master's wants. 'Twas due on forfeiture, my lord, 6 weeks in past. Your steward puts me off, my lord, and I am sent expressly to your lordship. Whoa, give me breath. I do beseech you, good my lords, keep on. I'll wait upon you instantly. Alcibiades and the lords leave. And this is Flavius and Timon says, come hither, pray you. How goes the world that I am thus encountered with clamorous demands of broken bonds and the detention of long since due debts against my honour? Please you, gentlemen, the time... to the servants, Flavius says, please you, gentlemen, the time is unagreeable to this business. Your importunity cease till after dinner, that I may make his lordship understand wherefore you are not paid. Do so, my friends. See them well entertained. Pray, draw near. Flavius leads them out. In comes Apemantus, and a fool. Caiaphas says, stay, here comes the fool with Apemantus. Let's have some sport with him. Verse 7. Hang him, he'll abuse us. A plague upon him, dog. How dost, fool? Dost dialogue with thy shadow? I speak not to thee. No, just to thyself. Come away. There's the fool hangs on your back already. No, thou standst single. Thou art not on him yet. Where is the fool now? He last asked the question. Oh! He's like, no, you. Poor rogues and usurers men, boards between gold and want. What are we, Apemantus? Says everybody. Asses. Why? That you ask me what you are and do not know yourselves. Speak to them, fool. How do yous, gentlemen? All the servants. Gramercy's good fool. How does your mistress? She's seen setting on water to scald such chickens as yous are, which yous could see is at Corinth. Good, Gramercy. Here comes a page. Oh, look yous, here comes me master's page. Why, how now, captain? What do you in this wise company? How dost thou, Apemantus? Would I had a rod in my mouth, that I might answer thee profitably. Prithee, Apemantus, read me the superscription of these letters. I know not which is which. Canst not read? No. There will little learning die then, that day thou art hanged. This is to Lord Timon, this is to Alcibiades. Go, thou wast born a bastard, and thou die in a board. Or die a board, not in a board. Thou wast whelped a dog, and thou shalt famish a dog's death. Answer not, I'm gone. Page leaves. E'en so, thou outrunst grace. Fool, I will go with you to Lord Timon's. Oh, will yous leave me there? If Timon stay at home, you three serve 3 usurers. All the servants say, aye, would they served us? Whee! So would I, as good a trick as ever hangman served thief. Are you 3 usurers, men? Aye, fool. I think no usurer but has a fool to his servant. My mistress is one, and I'm her fool. When men come to borrow of your masters, they approach sadly and go away merry, but they enter my master's house merrily and go away sadly. The reason of this, Varro's servant says, I could render one. Do it then, that we may account thee a whoremaster and a knave, which notwithstanding thou shalt be no less esteemed. What is a whoremaster, fool? Oh, a fool in good clothes, and something like thee. 'Tis a spirit, sometimes appears like a lord, sometimes like a lawyer, sometimes like a philosopher with 2 stones more than's artificial one. He's very often like a knight, and generally in all shapes that man goes up and down in from 40 to 13, the spirit walks in. Thou art not altogether a fool, nor thou altogether a wise man. As much foolery as I have, so much wit thou lackst. That answer might have become Apemantus. All the servants say, Oh, shit, here comes Lord Timon. Timon comes in. Come with me, fool, come. I did not always follow lover, elder brother, and woman, sometime the philosopher. And so, Apemantus and the fool leave. It's cool that you can just have a job. Your job is to be a fool. That's just your whole job. Anyway, in comes Flavius and Timon. Pray you walk near, and I'll speak with you anon. You make me marvel, wherefore at this time had not you fully laid my state before me, that I might so have rated my expense as I had leave of means. You would not hear me. At many leisures I proposed go to. Perchance some single vantages you took when my indisposition put you back, and that unaptness made your minister thus to excuse yourself. Oh, my good lord! At many times I brought in my accounts, laid them before you, you would throw them off, and say you found them in mine honesty, when for some trifling present you have bid me return so much. I have shook my head and wept, yea, against the authority of manners prayed you to hold your hand more close. I did endure not seldom, nor no slight checks, when I have prompted you in the ebb of your estate and your great flow of debts. My loved lord, though you hear now too late, yet now is the time. The greatest of your having lacks a half to pay your present debts. Let all my land be sold. 'Tis all engaged, some forfeited and gone, and what remains will hardly stop the mouth of present dues. The future comes apace. What shall defend the interim, and at length how goes our reckoning? To Lacedaemon did my land extend. O good my lord, the world is but a word. Were it all yours to give it in a breath, how quickly were it gone? You tell me true. If you suspect my husbandry or falsehood, call me before the exactest auditors, and set me on the proof. So the gods bless me, when all our offices have been oppressed with riotous feeders, when our vaults have wept with drunken spithe of wine, when every room hath blazed with lights and brayed with minstrelsy, I have retired me to a wasteful cock, and set mine eyes at flow. Prithee, no more. Heavens, have I said, the bounty of this lord! How many prodigal bits have slaves and peasants this night englutted? Who is not Timon's? What heart, head, sword, force, means, but is Lord Timon's, great Timon, noble, worthy, royal Timon? When the means are gone that buy this praise, the breath is one whereof this praise is made. Feast won, fast lost, one cloud of winter's showers, these flies are couched. Come, sermon me no further. No villainous bounty yet hath passed my heart. Unwisely, not ignobly, have I given. Why dost thou weep? Canst thou the conscience lack to think I shall lack friends? Secure thy heart. If I would broach the vessels of my love, and try the argument of hearts by borrowing, men and men's fortunes could I frankly use, as I can bid thee speak. Assurance bless your thoughts. And in some sort these wants of mine are crowned, then I account them blessings, for by these shall I try friends. You shall perceive how you mistake my fortunes. I am wealthy in my friends. Within there, Flaminius, Servilus. In come 3 servants. My lord. I will dispatch you severally. You to Lord Lucius, to Lord Lucilius, you, I hunted with his honour today, you to Sempronius, commend me to their loves, and I am proud to say that my occasions have found time to use them toward a supply of money. Let the request be 50 talents. As you've said, my lord. Lord Lucius and Lucilius. Go you, sir, to the senators, of whom even to the state's best health I have deserved this hearing. Bid him send at the instant 1,000 talents to me. I have been bold, for that I knew it the most general way to them to use your signet and your name, for they do shake their heads, and I am here no richer in return. Is true? Can be? They answered in a joint and corporate voice that now they are at fall, want treasure, cannot do what they would, are sorry, you are honourable, but yet they could have wished, they know not. Something hath been amiss, a noble nature may carry a edge. Would all were well, 'tis pity. And so, intending other serious matters, after distasteful looks and these hard fractions, with certain half-caps and cold-moving nods, they froze me into silence. You gods reward them. Prithee, man, look cheerly. These old fellows have their ingratitude in them hereditary. Their blood is caked. 'Tis cold. It seldom flows. 'Tis lack of kindly warmth. They are not kind. and nature as it grows again toward earth is fashioned for the journey, dull and heavy. Go to Ventidius. Prithee not be sad, thou art true and honest, ingeniously I speak, no blame belongs to thee. Ventidius lately buried his father, by whose death he stepped into a great estate. When he was poor, imprisoned, and in scarcity of friends, I cleared him with 5 talents. Greet him from me. Bid him suppose some good necessity touches his friend, which craves to be remembered with those 5 talents. And so the servant leaves. That had, give these fellows to whom this instant due. Ne'er speak or think that Timon's fortunes among his friends can sink. I would I could not think it. That thought is bounty's foe. Being free itself, it thinks all others so. So he's out of money, and he's like, don't worry, I'm gonna ask my friends for money. And Flavius is like, okay. Anyway, in comes Flaminius, who is a servant. He's a servant from the previous scene. He got sent in. Excuse me. Flaminius comes in, waiting to speak with the Lord. And the servant comes in. I have told my lord of you, he's coming down to you. Oh, thank you, sir. Enter Lucilius. Here's my lord. One of Lord Timon's men. A gift, I warrant. Why, this hits right. I dreamt of a silver basin and you tonight. Flaminius! Honest Flaminius, you're very respectively welcome, sir. Fill me some wine. And how does that honourable, complete, free-hearted gentleman of Athens, thy very bountiful good lord and master? His health is well, sir. I am right glad that his health is well, sir. And what hast thou there under thy cloak, pretty Flaminius? Faith, nothing, but... whoa, hang on a minute. What hast thou there under thy cloak, pretty Flaminius? Faith, nothing but an empty box, sir, which in my lord's behalf I come to entreat your honour to supply, who having great and instant occasion to use 50 talents, hath sent your lordship to furnish them, nothing doubting your present assistance therein. Nothing doubting, says he. Alas, good lord. Noble gentleman 'tis if he would not keep so good a house. Many a time and often I had dined with him and told him on't, and come again to supper to him, a purpose to have him spend less, and yet he would embrace no counsel, take no warning by my coming. Every man has his fault, and honesty is his. I had told him on't, but I could ne'er get him frompt. The servant comes in with wine. Please, your lordship, here is the wine. Flaminius, I have noted thee always wise. Here's to thee. Your lordship speaks your pleasure. I have observed thee always for a towardly prompt spirit. Give thee thy due, and one that knows what belongs to reason, and canst use the time well, if the time use thee well. Good parts in thee. Get you gone, sirrah? Servant lives. Draw nearer, honest Flaminius. Wait. Oh, yeah. Thy lord's a bountiful gentleman, but thou art wise, and thou knowest well enough, although thou comes to me, that this is no time to lend money, especially upon bare friendship without security. Here's 3 solidares for thee, boy. Good boy, wink at me, and say thou sawest me not. Fare thee well. So he leaves. Is possible the world should so much differ, and we alive that lived? Fly, damn the baseness, to him that worships thee. He throws back the money. And Lucilius says, Now I see thou art a fool, and fit for thy master. May these add to the number that may scald thee. Let molten coin be thy damnation, thou disease of a friend, and not himself. Has friendship such a faint and milky heart, it turns in less than 2 nights? Oh, you gods, I feel my master's passion. This slave unto his honour has my lord's meat in him. Why should it thrive and turn to nutriment when he is turned to poison? Oh, may diseases only work upon't, and when he's sick to death, let not that part of nature which my lord paid for be of any power to expel sickness, but prolong his hour. Here comes Lucius with 3 strangers. Who was Lucius again? Lucius, he's a flattering lord. So I think probably classic Shakespeare is going to get 2 or 3 scenes that are the same thing. Just to give the guy who's playing Timon a rest, I expect. Lucius comes in with 3 strangers. Who? The Lord Timon? He's my very good friend and an honourable gentleman. We know him for no less, though we are but strangers to him. But I can tell you one thing, my lord, and which I hear from common rumours. Now Lord Timon's happy hours are done and past, and his estate shrinks from him. Fine, no, do not believe it. He cannot want for money. But believe you this, my lord, that not long ago one of his men was with the Lord Lucilius to borrow so many talents, nay, urged extremely for it, and showed what necessity belonged to it, and yet was denied. How? I tell you, denied, my lord. What a strange case was that? Now before the gods I am ashamed on. Denied that honourable man? There was very little honour showed in't. For my own part, I must needs confess I have received some small kindnesses from him, as money, plate, jewels, and such like trifles, nothing comparing to his, yet had he mistook him and sent to me, I should now have denied his occasion so many talents. Just at that moment, in comes Servilius. See, by good hap, yonders my lord, I have sweat to see his honour. My honoured lord, Servilius, you are kindly met, sir. Fare thee well, commend me to thy honourable virtuous lord, my very exquisite friend. May it please your honour, my lord hath sent... what has he sent? I'm so much endeared to that lord, he's ever sending. How shall I thank him, thinkst thou? And what has he sent now? He has only sent his present occasion now, my lord, requesting your lordship to supply his instant use with so many talents. Hey, I know his lordship is but merry with me. He cannot want 500 talents. But in the meantime he wants less, my lord. If his occasion were not virtuous, I should not urge it half so faithfully. Dost thou speak seriously, Servilius? Upon my word, 'tis true, sir. What a wicked beast was I to disfurnish myself against such a good time, when I might have shown myself honourable. How unluckily it happened that I should purchase the day before for a little part, and undo a great deal of honour. Servilius, now before the gods, I am not able to do the more beast, I say. I was lending to use Lord Timon myself. These gentlemen can witness, but I would not for the wealth of Athens. I had done't now. Commend me bountifully to his lordship, and I hope his honour will conceive the fairest of me, because I have no power to be kind. And tell him this from me. I count it one of my greatest afflictions, say that I cannot pleasure such an honourable gentleman. Good Servilius, will you befriend me so far as to use mine own words to him? Yes, sir, I shall. I'll look you out a good turn, Servilius. True as you said, Timon is shrunk indeed, and he that's once denied will hardly speed. Do you observe this, Hostilius? Aye, too well. What do you think, Superfluous? Why, this is the world's soul, and just of some same piece is every flatterer's sport. Who can call him his friend that dips in the same dish? For in my knowing, Timon has been this lord's father, and kept his credit with his purse, supported his estate. Nay, Timon's money has paid his men their wages. He ne'er drinks, but Timon's silver treads upon his lip. And yet, oh, see the monstrousness of man when he looks out in an ungrateful shape. He does deny him in respect to this, what charitable men afford to beggars. Religion groans at it. For mine own part, I never tasted Timon in his life, nor came any of his bounties over me to mark me for his friend. Yet I protest for his right noble mind, illustrious virtue, and honourable courage, had his necessity made use of me, I would have put my wealth into donation, and the best half should have returned to him, so much I love his heart. But I perceive men must now learn to pity to dispense, for policy sits above conscience. So, nobody can lend Timon any money. Nobody will pleasure this honourable lord. So he's broke. So in comes a third servant, with Sempronius, another of Timon's friends. Probably another of William Shakespeare's friends who needed a job. Because there's so many roles. So again, classic Shakespeare, we get 3 scenes in a row. It's 3 scenes in a row that are all the same thing. Must he needs trouble me in it? Above all others, he might have tried Lord Lucius or Lucilius, and now Ventidius is wealthy too, whom he redeemed from prison. All these owes their estates unto him. My lord, they have all been touched and found base metal, for they have all denied him. How? Have they denied him? Has Ventidius and Lucilius denied him? And has he sent to me? 3. It shows but little love or judgment in him. Must I be his last refuge? His friends, like physicians, thrive, give him over. Must I take the cure upon me? He's much disgraced me, and I am angry at him that might have known my place. I see no sense for it, but his occasions might have wooed me first. For in my conscience I was the first man that ever received a gift from him, and does he think so backwardly of me now that I'll requite it last? No. So it may prove an argument of laughter to the rest, and amongst lords be thought a fool. I'd rather than the worth of thrice the sum had sent to me first. But for my mind's sake I had such a courage to do him good. But now return, and with their faint reply this answer join. Who bates mine honour shall not know my coin. Excellent. Yeah, your lordship's a goodly villain. The devil knew not what he did when he made the man politic. He crossed himself by it, and I cannot think but in the end the villainies of man will set him clear. How fairly this lord strives to appear foul, takes virtuous copies to be wicked, like those that under hot ardent zeal would set whole realms on fire. Of such a nature is his politic love. This was my lord's best hope, now all are fled, save only the gods, now his friends are dead. Those that were ne'er acquainted with their wards, many a bounteous year must be employed, now to guard sure their master, and this is all a liberal course allows, who cannot keep his wealth must keep his house. Yikes. Still warming up. Let me change the countdown on the donation bar, because we have a lot longer than 23 hours to go. Well, we'll hopefully be resetting it before then anyway, don't worry. Anyway, here comes Varro's servant, meeting all the others. Everybody's outside Timon's house. They're coming to collect. They're coming to collect the money. They're coming for the cash. Money, money, money. So Varro's first servant comes in and says, "Well met, good morrow, Titus and Hortensius." And the Titus says, "The like to you, kind Varro. Lucius, what, do we meet together? Aye, and I think one business does command us all, for mine is money, so is theirs, and ours. Here comes Philotas, and Sir Philotas too. Good day at once. Welcome, good brother. What do you think the hour? There's labouring for 9. So much? Is not my lord seen yet? Not yet. I wonder on he was wont to shine at 7. Aye, but the days are waxed shorter with him. You must consider that a prodigal course is like the sun's, but not like his recoverable, I fear. 'Tis deepest winter in Lord Timon's purse, that is, one may reach deep enough and yet find little. I am of your fear for that. I'll show you how to observe a strange event. Your lord sends now for money. Most true he does, and he wears jewels now of Timon's gift, for which I wait for money. It is against my heart. Mark how strange it shows. Timon in this should pay more than he owes, and he is even as if your lord should wear rich jewels and send money for 'em. I'm weary of this charge, the gods can witness. I know my lord hath spent of Timon's wealth, and now ingratitude makes it worse than stealth. Yet mine's 3,000 crowns. What's yours? 5,000 mine. Oh, 'tis much deep, and should seem by the sum your master's confidence was above mine, else surely his had equalled. Enter Flaminius, who is not Flavius. Who wrote this? Who wrote this? Flaminius is not Flavius. Is he? Just double check. Oh, no, he's not. So Flaminius is not Flavius. Okay. Anyway, in comes Flaminius. I'm not Flavius, he says. One of Lord Timon's men. Oh, Flaminius, sir, a word pray, is my lord ready to come forth? No, indeed, he's not. We attend his lordship, pray signify so much. I need not tell him that, he knows you're too diligent. So he leaves. Here comes Flavius, says, I'm not Flaminius. Lucius the servant. Oh, is that not his steward? Buffalo, he goes away in a cloud. Call him. Do you hear, sir? By your leave, sir. Oh, what do you ask of me, my friend? We wait for certain money here, sir. Aye, if money were as certain as you waiting, 'twas sure enough. Why then preferred you not your sums and bills when your false masters eat of my lord's meat? Then they could smile and fawn upon his debts and take down interest in their gluttonous maws. You do yourselves but wrong to stand me up. Let me pass quietly. Believe it, my lord, that I have made an end. I have no more to reckon, he to spend. Aye, but this answer will not serve. If 'twill not serve, 'tis not so base as you, for you sour knaves. So he leaves. How? What does his cashiered worship mutter? No matter what, he's poor, and that's revenge enough. Who can speak broader than that? He has no house to put his head in. Such may rail against great buildings. In comes Servilius. Oh, here's Servilius. Now we shall know some answer. If I might beseech you, gentlemen, to repair some other hour, I should derive much from it. For, take it of my soul, my lord leans wondrously to discontent. His comfortable temper has forsook him, he's much out of health and keeps his chamber. Many do keep their chambers are not sick, and if it be so far beyond his health, methinks he should as sooner pay his debts and make a clear way to the gods. Good gods! We cannot take this for an answer, sir! Servilius, help! My lord! Timon comes in a rage. What, are my doors opposed against my passage? Have I been ever free, and must my house be my retentive enemy, my jail? The place which I have feasted, does it now, like all mankind, show me an iron heart? Put in now, Titus. My lord, here's the bill. Here's mine, and mine, my lord, and ours, my lord, all our bills. Knock me down with them. Cleave me to the girdle. Alas, my lord, cut my heart in sums. Mine, 50 talents, yeah. Tell out my blood. 5,000 crowns, my lord. 5,000 drops pays that. What's yours? And yours. My lord, tear me, take me, and the gods fall upon you. And so he leaves. Fate, I perceive our masters may throw their caps at their money. These debts may well be called desperate ones, for a madman owes them. Timon's losing it. I'm really hungry. I'll have to take an interval in a bit and have some food. Timon comes in with Flavius. They have e'en put my breath from me, the slaves, creditors, devils. My dear lord, what if it should be so? My lord, I'll have it so. My steward... Here, my lord. So fitly, go bid all my friends again, Lucius, Lucullus, and Sempronius, or Luxures all. I'll once more feast the rascals. Oh, my lord, you only speak from your distracted soul. There's not so much left to furnish out a moderate table. Be it not in thy care. Go. I charge thee, invite them all. Let in the tide of knaves once more. My cook and I'll provide. And so they leave. He's going to throw one more feast. So Act 3, Scene 6. Enter 3 senators at one door. Alcibiades meets them with attendants. Alcibiades is not the weird goth guy. My lord, you have my voice to it. The fault's bloody. 'Tis necessary he should die. Nothing emboldens sin so much as mercy. Most true, the law shall bruise him. Honour, health, and compassion to the state, says Alcibiades. Ah, now, captain, I am an humble suitor to your virtues, for pity is the virtue of the law. Oh, Alcibiades is the soldier. I am an humble suitor to your virtues, for pity is the virtue of the law, and none but tyrants use it cruelly. It pleases time and fortune to lie heavy upon a friend of mine, who in hot blood hath stepped into the law, which is past depth to those that without heed do plunge into it. He is a man, setting his fate aside, of comely virtues, nor did he soil the fact with cowardice, and honour in him which buys out his fault. But with a noble fury and fair spirit, seeing his reputation touched to death, he did oppose his foe, and with such sober and unnoted passion he did behave his anger ere 'twas spent, as if he had but proved an argument. You undergo too strict a paradox, striving to make an ugly deed look fair. Your words have took such pains as if they laboured to bring manslaughter into form, and set quarrelling upon the head of valour, which indeed is valour misbegot, and came into the world when sects and factions were newly born. He's truly valiant that can wisely suffer the worst that man can breathe, and make his wrongs his outsides, to wear them like his raiment carelessly, and ne'er prefers his injuries to his heart to bring it into danger. If wrongs be evils, and enforce us kill, what folly 'tis to hazard life for ill. My lord, you cannot make gross sins look clear. To revenge is no valour, but to bear. My lords then under favour pardon me if I speak like a captain. Why do fond men expose themselves to battle, and not endure all threats? Sleep upon't, and let the foes quietly cut their throats without repugnancy. If there be such valour in the bearing, what make we abroad? Why then women are more valiant that stay at home, if bearing carry it. And the ass more captain than the lion, the fellow loaden with irons, wiser than the judge, if wisdom be in suffering. O my lords, as you are great, be pitifully good. Who cannot condemn rashness in cold blood? To kill, I grant, is sin's extremest gust, but in defence, by mercy, 'tis most just. To be in anger is impiety, but who is man that is not angry? Weigh but the crime with this. You breathe in vain. In vain! His service done at Lacedaemon and Byzantium were a sufficient briber for his life. What's that? Why, I say, my lords, he's done fair service, and slain in fight many of your enemies. How full of valour did he bear himself in the last conflict, and made plenteous wounds. He's made too much plenty with him. He's a sworn rioter. He has a sin that often drowns him, and takes his valour prisoner. If there were no foes, that were enough to overcome him. In that beastly fury he has been known to commit outrages and cherish factions. 'Tis inferred to us his days are foul and his drink dangerous. He dies. Hard fate. He might have died in war, my lords, if not for any parts in him, though his right arm might purchase his own time and be in debt to none. Yet more to move you. Take my deserts to his and join them both, and for I know your reverend ages love security, I'll pawn my victories, all my honour to you upon his good returns. If by this crime he owes the law his life, why let the war received in valiant gore, for law is strict, and war is nothing more. We are for law. He dies, urge it no more on height of our displeasure. Friend or brother, he forfeits his own blood that spills another. Must it be so? It must not be. My lords, I do beseech you know me. How? Call me to your remembrances. What? I cannot think but your age has forgot me. It could not else be, I should prove so base to sue and be denied such common grace. My wounds ache at you. Do you dare our anger? 'Tis in few words, but spacious in effect. We banish thee forever. Banish me. Banish your dotage. Banish usury that makes the Senate ugly. If after 2 days' shine Athens contain thee, attend our weightier judgment. And, not to dwell on our spirit, he shall be executed presently. And they will leave. Now the gods keep you old enough that you may live, only in bone, that none may look on you. I'm worse than mad. I've kept back their foes while they have told their money and let out their coin upon large interest. I myself rich only in large hurts. All those for this. Is this the balsam that the usuring senate pours into captains' wounds? Banishment? It comes not ill. I hate not to be banished. It is a cause worthy my spleen and fury that I may strike at Athens. I'll cheer up my discontented troops and lay for hearts. 'Tis honour with most lands to be at odds. Soldiers should brook as little wrongs as gods. Alcibiades likes the troops. No, he's a troop, I guess. Where are we at? Okie dokie. Okie dokie. We'll do a couple more scenes and then take an interval. So in comes all the lords, all the lads are here. Lads again. Here come all the lads. At several doors, the first one's like, "The good time of day to you, sir. I also wish it to you. I think this honourable lord did but try us this other day. Upon that were my thoughts tiring when we encountered. I hope it is not so low with him as he is made to seem in the trial of his several friends. It should not be by the persuasion of his new feasting. I should think so. He hath sent me an earnest inviting, which many of my near occasions did urge me to put off, but he hath conjured me beyond them, and I needs must appear. In like manner was I in debt to my importune business, but he would not hear my excuse. I'm sorry when he sent to borrow of me that my provision was out. I'm sick of that grief too, as I understand how all things go. Every man's here, so what would he have borrowed of you? 1,000 pieces. 1,000 pieces? What of you? He sent to me, sir. Oh, here he comes. With all my heart, gentlemen both, and how fare you? Ever at the best, hearing well of your lordship. The swallow follows not the summer more willing than we, your lordship, nor more willingly leaves winter. Such summer birds are men. Gentlemen, our dinner will not recompense this stay long. Feast your ears with the music a while, if they will fare so harshly at the trumpet sound. We shall to it presently. I hope it remains not unkindly with your lordship that I returned you an empty messenger. Oh, sir, let it not trouble you. My noble lord. Ah, my good friend, what cheer. The banquet is being brought in. My most honourable lord, I am e'en sick of shame that when your lordship this other day sent to me, I was so unfortunate a beggar. Think not on't, sir. If you'd sent but 2 hours before, let it not come be your better remembrance. Come, bring in all together. The servants bring in loads of dishes that are all covered up. The second lord says, "Oh, all covered dishes. Royal cheer, I warrant you." Third lord, "Doubt not that, if money in the season can yield it." "How do you? What's the news?" "Alcibiades is banished. Hear you of it?" Whoa, Alcibiades banished? 'Tis so, be sure of it." How? I pray you, upon what?" "My worthy friends, will you draw near?" "I'll tell you more anon. Here's a noble feast toward. This is the old man still. We'll hold. It does, but time will. That's so. I do concede. Each man to his stool, with that spur as he would to the lip of his mistress. Your diet shall be in all places alike. Make not a city feast of it, to let the meat cool ere we can agree upon the first place. Sit. The gods require our thanks. You, great benefactors, sprinkle our society with thankfulness. For your own gifts make yourselves praised. but reserve still to give, lest your deities be despised. Lend to each man enough that one need not lend to another, for were your godheads to borrow of men, men would forsake the gods. Make the meat be beloved more than the man that gives it. Let no assembly of 20 be without a score of villains. If there sit 12 women at a table, let a dozen of them be as they are. The rest of your foes, O gods, the senators of Athens, together with the common tag of people, what is amiss in them, you gods, make suitable for destruction. For these my present friends, as they are to me, nothing, so in nothing bless them, and to nothing are they welcome. Uncover, dogs, and lap. So the dishes are uncovered, and they're just full of warm water and stones. And all the lords are like, what does his lordship mean? Ooh. I know not. May you a better feast never behold, you knot of mouth friends. Smoke and lukewarm water is your perfection. This is Timon's last, who, stuck and spangled with your flatteries, washes it off and sprinkles in your faces your reeking villainy, live loathed and long, throws the stones at them, most smiling, smooth, detested parasites, courteous destroyers, affable wolves, meek bears, you fools of fortune, trencher friends, time's flies, cap and knee slaves, vapours and minute jacks, of man and beast the infinite malady, crust you quite o'er. Flinging stones at them, they're all leaving. Oh, what, dost thou go? Soft, take thy physic first. Thou too, and thou. Stay, I'll lend thee money, borrow none. They all leave. What, all in motion? Henceforth be no feast. Whereat a villain's not a welcome guest. Burn house, sink Athens, henceforth hated be of Timon, man, and all humanity. Senators come in with some other lords. First Lord says, how now, my lords? Know you the quality of Lord Timon's fury? Push, did you see my cap? I've lost my gown. He's but a mad lord, and naught but humours sways him. He gave me a jewel the other day, and now he's beaten it out of my hat. Did you see my jewel? Did you see my cap? Oh, there it is. He lies my gown. Let's make no stay. Lord Timon's mad. I feel it upon my bones. One day he gives us diamonds, next day stones. So, Timon's kicked them all out. Here we are. This is the most famous bit in the play. It's the wall of Athens. Timon comes in and he says, let me look back upon thee, O thou wall that girdles in those wolves, dive in the earth and fence not Athens. Matrons turn incontinent, obedience fail in children, slaves and fools pluck thee grave wrinkled senate from the bench and minister in their steads, to general filths convert to the instant green virginity, dirt in your parents' eyes, bankrupts hold fast rather than render back, out with your knives and cut your trusters' throats, bound servants, steal, large-handed robbers your grave masters are, and pill by law, maid to thy master's bed, thy mistresses are the brothel, son of 16, pluck the lined crutch from thy old limping sire, with it beat out his brains, piety and fear, religion to the gods, peace, justice, truth, domestic awe, night rest and neighbourhood, instruction, manners, mysteries and trades, degrees, observances, customs and laws decline to your confounding contraries, and yet confusion live. Plagues incident to men, your potent and infectious fevers heap on Athens, ripe for stroke. Thou cold sciatica, cripple our senators, that their limbs may halt as lamely as their manners. Lust and liberty creep in the minds and marrows of our youth, that 'gainst the stream of virtue they may strive and drown themselves in riot. Itches, blains, sow all the Athenian bosoms, and their crop be general leprosy. Breath infect breath, that their society as their friendship may be merely poison. Nothing I'll bear from thee but nakedness, thou detestable town. And he rips off his clothes. Take thou that too, with multiplying bands. Timon will to the woods, where he shall find the unkindest beast more kinder than mankind. The gods confound. Hear me, you good gods all, the Athenians both within and out that wall. And grant as Timon grows, his hate may grow to the whole race of mankind, high and low. Amen. And so he leaves. So he leaves naked, and I think we'll take because we're now that was Act 4, Scene 1. So let's take a little break, Probably a little 10 or 15 minutes just for me to do a few more vocal warm-ups and get some breakfast, and then we'll come back and we'll do the rest of it. I'm quite excited to find out what happens, actually. In the meantime, if you are just joining us, and it seems like a few hundred people have, we're doing a 24/7 Shakespeare live stream. We're reading the complete works of Shakespeare to raise money for the Samaritans. They are an amazing charity and a really, really wonderful, wonderful cause. They help people in emotional distress. Most famously, they have a suicide hotline, but you can call them at any time. You don't have to necessarily be suicidal. And we've $56,000 and change. Like, wow. And we've still got, like, what is today? What's today? Sunday? We've still got all today, all tomorrow, and all Tuesday to go. So, we've now been streaming about 36 hours. So, I'll go and we'll take 10-15 minutes and do a few more vocal warm-ups and have some breakfast, and we'll come back and we'll do the rest of the thing. Thank you, everybody. Hello, everybody, and welcome back. I ate a banana. We are about to do... Whoa! Act 4, Scene 2, Timon of Athens. Timon has just run off naked into the woods. That's what we all wish we could do. He's gone full and prim. Welcome back, everybody. Nice to be here. Also, shout out to my mum and dad who just messaged me. Hi guys. Good to have you. Everybody in the chat, behave yourself. So, oh, that's nice. So, Timon's run off into the woods naked. Here comes Flavius, who says, and 2 or 3 servants, Timon's servants. And the first one says, "Hear you, Master Steward, where's our master? Are we undone? Cast off, nothing remaining? Alack, my fellows, what shall I say to you? Let me be recorded by the righteous gods, I am as poor as you. Such a horse broke, so noble a master fallen, all gone, and not one friend to take his fortune by the arm and go along with him, as we do turn our backs from our companion thrown into his grave, so his familiars to his buried fortunes sink all away, leave their false vows with him like empty purses picked, and his poor self a dedicated beggar to the air, with his disease of all shunned poverty, walks like contempt alone. Oh, more of our fellows," some more servants come in, "all broken implements of a ruined house. Yet do our hearts wear Timon's livery, that see I by our faces. We are fellows still, serving alike in sorrow. Leaked is our bark, and we, poor mates, stand on the dying deck, hearing the surge's threat. We must all part into the sea of air. Good fellows all, the latest of my wealth I'll share amongst you, wherever we shall meet, for Timon's sake. Let's yet be fellows. Let's shake our heads and say, as 'twere a knell unto our master's fortunes, we have seen better days. Let each take some. Nay, put out all your hands, not one word more. Thus part we rich in sorrow, parting poor." Well, the servants, they're all going to go get different jobs. Aww. They're all going to break up the gang, the lads. Oh, the fierce wretchedness that glory brings us. Who would not wish to be from wealth exempt, since riches point to misery and contempt? Who would be so mocked with glory, or to live but in a dream of friendship, to have his pomp and all what state compounds, but only painted like his varnished friends? Poor honest lord, brought low by his own heart, undone by goodness. Strange, unusual blood, when man's worst sin is he does too much good. Who then dares to be half so kind again? For bounty that makes gods does still mar men. My dearest lord, blessed to be most accursed, rich only to be wretched, thy great fortunes are made thy chief afflictions. Alas, kind lord, he's flung in rage from this ungrateful seat of monstrous friends, nor has he with him to supply his life or that which can command it. I'll follow him and inquire him out. I'll ever serve his mind with my best will whilst I have gold. I'll be his steward still. So Flavius is like, I don't know where he's gone, but I've got to go after him, you know. That's my mate. It's my lad, my boy. Sorry, I put ginger in it. I can feel my voice starting to warm up a little bit now. That's nice. So, Act 4, Scene 3. Enter Timon in the woods. Presumably, we are led to imagine nude, given that he tore his clothes in the previous scene. O blessed breeding sun, draw from the earth rotten humidity. Below thy sister's orb infect the air. Twinned brothers of one womb, whose procreation, residence, and birth scarce is dividend, touch them with several fortunes, the greater scorns the lesser. Not nature, to whom all sores lay siege, can bear great fortune, but by contempt of nature, raise me this beggar, and deny it that lord. The senators shall bear contempt hereditary, the beggar native honour. It is the pasture lards, the beggar's sides, the want that makes him lean. Who dares, in purity of manhood stand upright and say, this man's a flatterer? If one be, so are they all, for every is that a pun? Or Grece, Greek fortune? Who knows? For every grease of fortune is smoothed by that below. The learned pate ducks to the golden fool. All's oblique. There's nothing level in our cursed natures but direct villainy. Therefore be abhorred all feasts, societies, and throngs of men. His semblance, yea, himself Timon disdains. Destruction fan mankind. Oh, I'll do that again because that's a really nice line. Destruction fang mankind. Earth, yield me roots. He digs in the ground. Stage direction says, digs. Earth, yield me roots. Who seeks for better of thee, sauce his palate with thy most operant poison. What is here? Stage directions say, discovers gold. Oh, twist. Gold? Yellow, glittering, precious gold? No, gods, I am no idle votarist. Roots, you clear heavens. Thus much of this will make black, white, foul, fair, wrong, right, base, noble, old, young, coward, valiant. Throws the gold away. Ha, you gods, why this? What this, you gods? Why this will lug your priests and servants from your sides, pluck stout men's pillows from below their heads. This yellow slave will knit and break religions. Bless the cursed. Make the whore. I can't read, or else there's a typo. Make the whore leprosy adored. That's H-O-A-R, not that kind of whore. Adored. Place thieves and give them title. Knee and approbation with senators on the bench. This is it that makes the wappened widow wed again. She whom the spittle house and ulcerous sores would cast the gorge at. This embalms and spices to the April day again. Come, damned earth, thou common whore, that was that kind of whore, thou common whore of mankind that puts odds among the rout of nations, I will make thee do thy right nature. And then, thank you to the chat, it says H-O-A-R is frost. In the distance, there's a march. A drum? Thou art quick, but yet I'll bury thee. Thou'lt go, strong thief, he buries the gold again. When gouty keepers of thee cannot stand, nay, stay thou out for earnest. He keeps a little bit of it. Stay thou out for earnest. Alcibiades comes in a warlike manner, and Phrynia and Timandra. Who are they? Let's have a look. I haven't had them yet. Who are they? Oh, they're whores. That kind of whore. That's what it says. What's your stripper name? Phrynia and Timandra. Alcibiades comes in. He's a soldier. He's got two well, it's not a nice word, is it? He's got two very beautiful ladies with him. Alcibiades says, what art thou there? Speak. A beast, as thou art. The canker gnaw thy heart for showing me again the eyes of man. What is thy name? Is man so hateful to thee that art thyself a man? I am misanthropos, and hate mankind. For thy part I do wish thou wert a dog, that I might love thee something. I know thee well, but in thy fortunes am unlearned and strange. I know thee too, and more than that I know thee I not desire to follow. Follow thy drum. With man's blood paint the ground ghouls. Ghouls, religious canons, civil laws are cruel. Then what should war be? This fell whore of thine hath in her more destruction than thy sword, for all her cherubin looks. Thy lips rot off! I will not kiss thee, then the rot returns to thine own lips again. How came the noble Timon to this change? As the moon does, by wanting light to give. But then renew I could not like the moon. There were no suns to borrow of. Noble Timon, what friendship may I do thee? None but to maintain my opinion. What is it, Timon? Promise me friendship, but perform none. If thou wilt not promise, the gods plague thee, for thou art a man. If thou dost perform, confound thee, for thou art a man. I have heard in some sort of thy miseries. Thou saw'st them when I had prosperity. I see them now. Then was a blessed time, as thine is now, held with a brace of harlots. Timandra says, is this the Athenian minion whom the world voiced so regardfully? Timon says, art thou Timandra? Yes. Be a whore still. They love thee not that use thee. Give them diseases, leaving with thee their lust. Make use of thy salt hours. Season the slaves for tubs and baths. bring down rose-cheeked youth to the tub fast and the diet. That's a very nasty thing to say. Hang thee, monster! Damn right, Timandra, best character in the play. Pardon him, sweet Timandra, for his wits are drowned and lost in his calamities. I have but little gold of late, brave Timon, the want whereof doth daily make revolt in my penurious hand. I have heard and grieved how cursed Athens, mindless of thy worth, forgetting thy great deeds when neighbour states, but for thy sword and fortune trod upon them. I prithee beat thy drum and get thee gone. I am thy friend, and pity thee, dear Timon. How dost thou pity him whom thou dost trouble? I'd rather be alone. Why, fare thee well. Here is some gold for thee. Keep it. I cannot eat it. When I have laid proud Athens on a heap. Warrest thou against Athens? Aye, Timon, and have cause. The gods confound them all in thy conquest, and thee after when thou hast conquered. Why me, Timon, that by killing of villains thou wast born to conquer my country? Put up thy gold. Go on, here's gold, go on. Be as a planetary plague when Jove will o'er some high-viced city hang his poison in the sick air. Let not thy sword skip one. Pity not honoured age for his white beard, he is a usurer. Strike me the counterfeit matron, it is her habit only that is honest, herselves abhorred. Let not the virgin's cheek make soft thy trenchant sword, for those milk paps that through the window bars bore at men's eyes are not within the leaf of pity writ, but set them down, horrible traitors. Spare not the babe, whose dimpled smiles from fools exhaust their merry. Think it a bastard whom the oracle hath doubtfully pronounced the throat shall cut, and mince it sans remorse. Swear against objects, put armour on thine ears and on thine eyes, whose proof nor yells of mothers, maids, nor babes, nor sight of priests in holy vestments bleeding shall pierce a jot. There's gold to pay thy soldiers. He gives them the gold he's found. Make large confusion, and thy fury spent, confounded be thyself. Speak not, be gone. Hast thou gold yet? I'll take the gold thou givest me, not all thy counsel. Dost thou or dost thou not, heaven's curse upon thee? Give us some gold, good Timon, hast thou more? Enough to make whore forswear her trade, and to make whores aboard. Hold up, you sluts. Not very nice. He throws gold at them. Your apron's mountenant. You are not oathable, although I know you'll swear, terribly swear, into strong shudders and to heavenly agues the mortal gods that hear you. Spare your oaths, I'll trust to your conditions. Be whores still, and he whose pious breath seeks to convert you, be strong in whore. Allure him, burn him up, let your close fire predominate his smoke, and be no turncoats. Yet may your pains 6 months be quite contrary, and thatch your poor thin roofs with burdens of the dead. Some that were hanged, no matter. Wear them, betray with them, whore still. Paint till a horse may mire upon your face a pox of wrinkles. Well, more gold? What then? Believe that we'll do anything for gold. Ah! Shakespeare. Who wrote this? Maybe he got dumped just before he wrote this. Anyway. Consumptions sow in hollow bones of man, strike their sharp shins and mar men spurring. Crack the lawyer's voice that he may never more false title plead, nor sound his quillets shrilly. Whore, H-O-A-R, the flamen that scolds against the quality of flesh and not believes himself. Down with the nose, down with it flat, take the bridge quite away of him that his particular to foresee smells from the general wheel. Make curled pate ruffians bald, and let the unscarred braggarts of the war derive some pain from you. Plague all, that your activity may defeat and quell the source of all erection. There's more gold. Do you damn others, and let this damn you, and ditches grave you all. More counsel with more money, bounteous Timon. So I guess they're like, yeah, keep giving us money, man. We will literally let you pay us to shout at us. More whore, more mischief first. I've given you earnest. Strike up the drum towards Athens. Farewell, Timon. If I thrive well, I'll visit thee again. If I hope well, I'll never see thee more. I never did thee harm. Yes, thou spokest well of me. Call'st thou that harm? Men daily find it. Get thee away, and take thy beagles with thee. We but offend him. Strike! And away he goes. that nature, being sick of man's unkindness, should yet be hungry. Common mother thou, whose womb unmeasurable and infinite breast teems and feeds all, whose self-same metal, whereof thy proud child, arrogant man, is puffed, engenders the black toad and adder blue, the gilded newt and eyeless venomed worm, with all the borrowed births below crisp heaven, whereon Hyperion's quickening fire doth shine. Yield him who all thy human sons do hate, from forth thy plenteous bosom one poor root. And sear thy fertile and conceptuous womb, let it no more bring out ingrateful man. Go great with tigers, dragons, wolves, and bears, teem with new monsters whom thy upward face hath to the marbled mansion all above never presented. Oh, a root, dear, thanks. He finds a root. No. Dry up thy marrows, vines, and plough torn leaves, whereof ingrateful man with licorice draughts and morsels unctuous greases his pure mind, that from it all consideration slips. I suppose I'm eating a root now, and I'm eating ginger. Ooh, spicy. So, in comes Apemantus. We love it. We love it. We love to see it. More man, plague. I was directed hither. Men report thou dost affect my manners and doth use them. He's like, stop ripping me off. 'Tis then because thou dost not keep a dog whom I would imitate. Consumption catch thee. This is in thee a nature but infected. A poor unmanly melancholy sprung from change of fortune. You merely adopt it, being a miserable bastard. I was born in it. Molded by it. I didn't see a smile till I was already a man, but then it was nothing to me but blinding. Okay, sorry. This is in thee a nature but infected, a poor unmanly melancholy sprung from change of fortune. Why this spade, this place, this slave-like habit, and these looks of care? Thy flatterers yet wear silk, drink wine, lie soft, hug their diseased perfumes, and have forgot that ever Timon was. Shame not these woods by putting on the cunning of a carper. Be thou a flatterer now, and seek to thrive by that which has undone thee. Hinge thy knee, and let his very breath, whom thou'lt observe, blow off thy cap. Praise his most vicious strain, and call it excellent. Thou wast told thus. Thou gavest thine ears like tapsters that bade welcome to knaves in all approaches. 'Tis most just that thou turn rascal. Hadst thou wealth again, rascal should have it. Do not assume my likeness. Were I like thee, I'd throw away myself. Thou hast cast away thyself, being like thyself. A madman so long, now a fool. What think'st that the bleak air, thy boisterous chamberlain, will put thy shirt on warm? Will these moist trees that have outlived the eagle page thy heels and skip when thou point'st out? Will the cold brook, candied with ice, caudle thy morning taste to cure thy o'er-night surfeit? Call the creatures whose naked natures live in all the spite of wreakful heaven, whose bare unhoused trunks to the conflicting elements exposed, and some mere nature, bid them flatter thee. O thou shalt find a fool of thee, depart. I love thee better now than e'er I did. I hate thee worse. Why? Thou flatterest misery. I flatter not, but say thou art a caitiff. Why dost thou seek me out? To vex thee. Always a villain's office or a fool's. Dost please thyself in't? Aye. What, a knave too? If thou didst put this sour cold habit on to castigate thy pride, 'twere well, but thou dost it enforcedly. Thou'st courtier be again, wert thou not beggar. Willing misery outlives in certain pomp, is crowned before, the one is fitting still, never complete, the other at high wish. Best state contentless hath a distracted and most wretched being, worse than the worst content. Thou shouldst desire to die, being miserable. Cheery scene. So Apemantus is like, stop ripping me off. You're not like, oh yeah, you're miserable? Name 3 of his albums. Not by his breath that is more miserable, thou art a slave whom fortune's tender arm with favour never clasp, but bred a dog. Hast thou, like us from our first swathe proceeded, the sweet degrees that this brief world affords to such as many the passive drugs of it freely command, thou wouldst have plunged thyself in general riot, melted down thy youth in different beds of lust, and never learned the icy precepts of respect, but followed the sugared game before thee. But myself, who had the world as my confectionery, the mouths, the tongues, the eyes and hearts of men at duty, more than I could frame employment, that numberless upon me stuck as leaves do on the oak, have with one winter's brush fell from their boughs and left me open, bare, for every storm that blows. I to bear this that never knew but better in some burden, thy nature did commence in sufferance. Time hath made thee hardened. Why shouldst thou hate men? They never flattered thee. What hast thou given? If thou wilt curse thy father, that poor rag must be thy subject, who in spite put stuff to some she-beggar and compounded thee, poor rogue hereditary. Hence be gone. If thou hadst not been born the worst of men, thou hadst been a knave and flatterer. Art thou proud yet? I, that am not thee. I, that I was no prodigal. I, that I am one now. Were all the wealth I have shut up in thee, I'd give thee leave to hang it. Get thee gone, that the whole life of Athens were in this. Thus I would eat it. So get thee gone, that the whole life of Athens were in this. Thus would I eat it. Eats his root. Here, I will mend thy feast. He gives him some food. First mend my company. Take away thyself. So I shall mend mine own by the lack of thine. 'Tis not well mended so. It is but botched. If not, I would it were. What wouldst thou have to Athens? Thee thither in a whirlwind. If thou wilt, tell them there, I have gold. Look, so I have. Here is no use for gold. The best and truest, for here it sleeps and does no hire it harm. Where liest a night, Timon? Under that's above me. Where feedst thou a days, Apemantus? Where my stomach finds meat, or rather where I eat it. Would poison were obedient and knew my mind. Where wouldst thou send it? To sauce thy dishes. The middle of humanity thou never knewest, with the extremity of both ends. When thou wast in thy guilt and thy perfume, they mocked thee for too much curiosity. In thy rags thou knowest none, but art despised for the contrary. There's a medlar for thee, eat it. On what I hate I feed not. Dost hate a medlar? Ay, though it look like thee. And thou'dst hated medlars sooner, thou shouldst have loved thyself better now. What man didst thou ever know unthrift that was beloved after his means? Who, without those means thou talkest of, didst thou ever know beloved? Myself. I understand thee, thou hadst some means to keep a dog. What things in the world canst thou nearest compare to thy flatterers? Women nearest, but men are the things themselves. What wouldst thou do with the world, Apemantus, if it lay in thy power? Give it to the beasts, to be rid of the men. Wouldst thou have thyself fall in the confusion of men and remain a beast with the beasts? Aye, Timon. And picture them now, like, finally sitting down, like, on a log, like, trying to, make friends. A beastly ambition, which the gods grant thee to attain to. If thou wert the lion, the fox would beguile thee. If thou wert the lamb, the fox would eat thee. If thou wert the fox, the lion would suspect thee when peradventure thou wert accused by the ass. If thou wert the ass, thy dullness would torment thee, and still thou livedst but as a breakfast to the wolf. If thou wert the wolf, thy greediness would afflict thee, and oft thou shouldst hast thy life for thy dinner. Wert thou the unicorn, pride and wrath would confound thee, and make thine own self the conquest of thy fury. Wert thou a bear, thou wouldst be killed by the horse. Wert thou a horse, thou wouldst be seized by the leopard. Wert thou a leopard, thou wert German to the lion, and the spots of thy kindred were jurors on thy life. All thy safety were emotion, and thy defence absence. What beast couldst thou be that were not subject to a beast? And what a beast art thou already, that seest not thy loss in transformation? If thou couldst please me with speaking to me, thou mightst have hit upon it here. The commonwealth of Athens is become as a forest of beasts. How has the ass broke the wall, that thou art out of the city? Yonder comes a poet and a painter. The plague of company light upon thee. I will fear to catch it and give way. When I know not what else to do, I'll see thee again. When there is nothing living but thee, thou shalt be welcome. I had rather be a beggar's dog than Apemantus. Thou art the cap of all the fools alive. Would thou wert clean enough to spit on. A plague on thee, thou art too bad to curse. All villains that do stand by thee are pure. There is no leprosy but what thou speakst. If I name thee, I'll beat thee, but I should infect my hands. I would my tongue could rot them off. Away, thou issue of a mangy dog! Collar to kill me that thou art alive. I swoon to see thee. Wouldst thou would burst. Away, thou tedious rogue! Throw stones at him. I am sorry I shall lose a stone by thee. Beast, slave, toad, rogue, rogue, rogue! I am sick of this false world and will love naught, but even the mere necessities upon't. Then, Timon, presently prepare thy grave. Lie where the light foam of the sea may beat thy gravestone daily. Make thine epitaph that death in me at others' lives may laugh. O thou sweet king-killer and dear divorce twixt natural son and sire, thou bright defiler of Hymen's purest bed, thou valiant Mars, thou ever young, fresh-loved and delicate wooer, whose blush doth thaw the consecrated snow that lies on Dian's lap, thou visible god that soldiers close impossibilities and makes them kiss, that speaks with every tongue to every purpose. O thou touch of hearts, think thy slave man rebels, and by thy virtue set them into confounding odds that beasts may have the world in empire. That's quite a long epitaph. You're going to need a big gravestone for that, I guess. Would 'twas so, but not till I am dead. I say thou hast gold. Thou wilt be thronged to shortly. Thronged to? Aye. Thy back, I prithee, live and love thy misery. Long live so, and so die, I'm quit. More things like men. Eat, Timon, and abhor them. So, Apemantus leaves, and in comes some bandits. In come the bandits. Where should he have this gold? It is some poor fragment, some slender ords of his remainder. The mere want of gold, and the falling from of his friends, drove him into this melancholy. It is noised he hath a mass of treasure. Let us make the assay upon him. If he care not for it, he will supply us easily. If he covetously reserve it, how shall he get it? True, for he bears it not about him, 'tis hid. Is not this he? Where? 'Tis his description. Here, I know him. Save thee, Timon. Now thieves. Oi! Soldiers, not thieves. Both, too, and women's sons. We are not thieves, but men that much do want. Your greatest want is you want much of meat. Why should you want? Behold, the earth hath roots. Within this mile break forth 100 springs. The oaks bear mast, the briars scarlet hips. The bounteous housewife, nature on each bush, lays her full mess before you. Want? Why want? We cannot live on grass, on berries, water, as beasts and birds and fishes, nor on the beasts themselves, the birds and fishes. You must eat men. Yet thanks I must you con that you are thieves profess, that you work not in holier shapes, for there is boundless theft in limited professions. Rascal thieves. Here's gold. Go suck the subtle blood of the grape till the high fever seethe your blood to froth, and so scape hanging. Trust not the physician, his antidotes are poison, and he slays more than you rob. Take wealth and lives together. Do, villains, do, since you protested, do it. Like workmen, I'll example you with thievery. The sun's a thief, and with his great attraction robs the vast sea. The moon's an arrant thief, and her pale fire she snatches from the sun. The sea's a thief, whose liquid surge resolves the moon into salt tears. The earth's a thief that feeds and breathes by a composture stolen from general excrement. Each thing's a thief. The laws your curb and whip in their rough power has unchecked left. Love not yourselves. Away! Rob one another, there's more gold. Cut throats, all that you meet are thieves. To Athens, go. Break open shops, nothing can you steal, but thieves do lose it. Steal less, for this I give you, and gold confound you howsoever. Amen. He has almost charmed me from my profession by persuading me to it. 'Tis in the malice of mankind that he thus advises us not to have us thrive in our misery. I believe him as an enemy, and give her my trade. Let us first see peace in Athens. There is no time so miserable, but a man may be true. So they leave. And in comes Flavius. Flavius. O you gods, is yon despised and ruinous man my lord, full of decay and failing? O monument and wonder of good deeds evilly bestowed, what an alteration of honour has desperate want made! What viler thing upon the earth than friends who can bring noblest minds to basest ends? How rarely does it meet with this time's guise when man was wished to love his enemies? Grant I may ever love and rather woo those that would mischief me than those that do, has caught me in his eye. I will present my honest grief unto him, and as my lord still serve him with my life. My dearest master, away, what art thou? Have you forgot me, sir? Why dost thou ask that? I have forgot all men. Then if thou grant'st thou art a man, I have forgot thee, an honest poor servant of yours. That I know thee not, I never had an honest man about me, I kept were knaves to serve in meat to villains. The gods are witness, ne'er did poor steward wear truer grief for his undone lord than mine eyes for you. What, dost thou weep? Come nearer. Then I love you because thou art a woman, and disclaims flinty mankind whose eyes do never give but throw at lust and laughter, pity sleeping, strange times that weep with laughing, not with weeping. I beg of you to know me, good my lord, to accept my grief, and whilst this poor wealth lasts, to entertain me as your steward still. Had I a steward so true, so just, and now so uncomfortable, it almost turns my dangerous nature wild. Let me behold thy face. Surely this man was born of woman. Forgive my general and acceptness rashness, you perpetual sober gods. I do proclaim one honest man, mistake me not, but one. No more, I pray. And he's a steward. How fain would I have hated all mankind, and thou redeemest thyself. But all save thee I fell with curses. Methinks thou art more honest now than wise, for by oppressing and betraying me thou mightst have sooner got another service. For many so arrive at second masters upon their first lord's neck. But tell me true, for I must ever doubt, though ne'er so sure, is not thy kindness subtle, covetous? If not a usuring kindness, then does rich men deal gifts, expecting in return 20 for 1? No, my most worthy master, in whose breast doubt and suspect, alas, are placed too late. You should have feared false times when you did feast. Suspect still comes when an estate is least. That which I show, heaven knows, is merely love. Duty and zeal to your unmatched mind, care of your food and living, and believe it, my most honoured lord, for any benefit that points to me, either in hope or present, I'd exchange for this one wish, that you had power and wealth to requite me by making rich yourself. Look thee, 'tis so. Gold! He presents the gold. Here, take. The gods out of my misery has sent thee treasure. Go, live rich and happy, but thus conditioned, thou shalt build from men. Hate all, curse all, show charity to none, but let the famished flesh slide from the bone ere thou relieve the beggar. Give to dogs what thou deniest to men. Let prisons swallow 'em, debts wither 'em to nothing. Be men like blasted woods, and may diseases lick up their false bloods, and so farewell and thrive. Also join the Conservative Party. Oh wait, no, I've written that in the margins. Oh, let me stay and comfort you, my master. If thou hadst curses, stay not. Fly whilst thou art blessed and free. Ne'er see thou man, and let me ne'er see thee. Timon retires into his cave. Aww, that scene really was really harsh at the start, but that reunion was like, aww. That's all pretty heartbreaking. Act 5, Scene 1. Timon has gone into his cave. Act 5, Scene 1. Enter the poet and the painter from the first scene. As I took note of the place, it cannot be far where he abides. What's to be thought of him? Does the rumour hold for true that he's full of gold? Certain. Alcibiades reports it. Phrynia and Timandra had gold of him. He likewise enriched poor straggling soldiers with great quantity. 'Tis said he gave unto his steward a mighty sum. And this breaking of his has been but a try for his friends. Nothing else. You shall see in him a palm in Athens again, and flourish with the highest. Therefore 'tis not amiss we tender our loves to him. In this supposed distress of his, it will show honesty in us, and is very likely to load our purposes with what they travail for, if it be a just and true report that goes of his having. What have you now to present unto him? Nothing at this time but my visitation. Only I will promise him an excellent peace. I must serve him so too. Tell him of an intent that's coming toward him. Good as the best. Promising is the very air of the time. It opens the eyes of expectation. Performance is ever duller for his act, but in the plainer and simpler kind of people, the deed of saying is quite out of use. To promise is most courtly and fashionable. Performance is a kind of will or testament which argues a great sickness in this judgment that makes it. Timon comes out of his cave. He's not been seen by the others yet. Excellent workman, thou canst not paint a man so bad as is thyself. Oh no, I guess he has. Oh no, he says that on the side. Excellent workman, thou canst not paint a man so bad as thyself. I am thinking what I shall say I have provided for him. It must be a personating of himself, a satire against the softness of prosperity, with a discovery of infinite flatteries that follow youth and opulency. Aside, Must thou needs stand for a villain in thine own work? Wilt thou whip thine own faults in other men? Do so. I have gold for thee. Nay, let's seek him. Then do we sin against our own estate, when we may profit meet and come too late. True, when the day serves before black-cornered night, find what thou want'st by free and offered light. Come, I'll meet you at the turn. What a god's gold, that he is worshipped in a baser temple than where swine feed. 'Tis thou that rick'st the bark and ploughs the foam, settlest admired reverence in a slave. To thee be worship, and thy saints for aye be crowned with plagues, to that thee alone obey. Fit I meet them. Hail, worthy Timon, our late noble master! Have I once lived to see two honest men, sir, having often of your open bounty tasted, hearing you were retired, your friends fallen off, whose thankless natures, abhorred spirits, not all the whips of heaven are large enough, what to you, whose star-like nobleness gave life and influence to their whole being, I am rapt and cannot cover the monstrous bulk of this ingratitude with any size of words. Let it go naked, men may see it the better. You that are honest by being what you are, make them best seen and known. He and myself have travelled in the great shower of your gifts, and sweetly felt it. Aye, you are honest men. We are hither come to offer you our service. Most honest men, why how shall I requite you? Can you eat roots and drink cold water? No? Well, we'll do what we can. What we can do, we'll do to your service. You're honest men. You've heard that I have gold. I'm sure you have. Speak truth, you're honest men. Well, so it is said, my lord. But therefore came not my friend or I. Good honest men. Thou drawest, honest men, and then to the painter, thou drawest a counterfeit best in all Athens. Thou art indeed the best, thou counterfeits most likely. Most lively. Oh, so, my lord. E'en so, sir, as I say. And for thy fiction, poet, why, thy verse swells with stuff so fine and smooth, that thou art even natural in thine art. But for all this, my honest-natured friends, I must needs say you have a little fault. Marriage is not monstrous in you, neither wish I you take much pains to mend. I beseech your honour to make it known to us. You'll take it ill. Most thankfully, my lord. Will you indeed? Doubt it not, worthy lord. There's never a one of you but trusts a knave that mightily deceives you. Do we, my lord? Aye, and you hear him cog, see him dissemble, know his gross patchery, love him, feed him, keep in your bosom, yet remain assured that he's a made-up villain. I know none such, my lord. Nor I. Look you, I love you well, I'll give you gold. Rid me these villains from your companies. Hang them or stab them, drown them in a draught, confound them by some course, and come to me, I'll give you gold enough. Name them, my lord, let's know them. You that way, and you this, but two in company, each man apart, all single and alone, yet an arch villain keeps him company. If where thou art two villains shall not be, come not near him. If thou wouldst not reside but where one villain is, then let him abandon. Hence, pack! And he throws stones at them. There's gold! You came for gold, ye slaves! You have worked for me? There's payment! Hence, you are an alchemist. Make gold of that. Out, you rascal dogs! Chases them away. In comes Flavius and two of the senators. It is vain that you would speak with Timon, for he is set so only to himself that nothing but himself, which looks like man, is friendly with him. Bring us to his cave. It is our part and promise to the Athenians to speak with Timon. At all times alike men are not still the same. 'Twas time and griefs that framed him thus, time with his fairer hand offering the fortunes of his former days, that former man may make him. Bring us to him, and chance it as it may. Well, here is his cave. Peace and content be here, Lord Timon. Timon, look out and speak to friends. The Athenians by two of their most reverend senate greet thee. Speak to them, noble Timon. Enter Timon out of his cave. Thou sun that comforts burn, speak and be hanged, for each true word a blister, and each false be as a cantherizing to the root of the tongue, consuming it with speaking. Worthy Timon, Timon, of none but such as you, and you of Timon, the senators in Athens greet thee, Timon. I thank them, and would send them back the plague, could I but catch it for them. Oh, forget what we are sorry for in ourselves and thee. The senators, with one consent of love, entreat thee back to Athens, who have thought on special dignities which vacant lie for thy best use and wearing. They confess toward thee forgetfulness too general gross. which now the public body, which doth seldom play the recanter, feeling in itself a lack of Timon's aid, hath sense withal of its own fault, restraining aid to Timon, and send forth us to make their sorrowed render, together with a recompense more fruitful than their offence can weigh down by the dram. Aye, even such heaps and sums of love and wealth as shall to thee blot out what wrongs were theirs, and write in thee the figures of their love, ever to read them thine. You witch me in it. Surprise me to the very brink of tears. Lend me a fool's heart and a woman's eyes, and I'll beweep these comforts, worthy senators. Therefore so please thee to return with us, and of our Athens, thine and ours, to take the captainship, there shall be met with thanks, allowed with absolute power, and thy good name live with authority. So soon we shall drive back of Alcibiades the approaches wild, who like a boar too savage doth root up his country's peace, and shakes his threatening sword against the walls of Athens. Therefore, Timon, well, sir, I will. Therefore I will, sir, thus. If Alcibiades kill my countrymen, let Alcibiades know this of Timon, that Timon cares not. But if he sack fair Athens, and take our goodly aged men by the beards, giving our holy virgins to the stain of contumelious, beastly, mad-brained war, then let him know, and tell him Timon speaks it, in pity of our aged and our youth. I cannot choose but tell him that I care not, and let him taste at worst, for their knives care not, while you have throats to answer. For myself, there's not a whittle in the unruly camp, but I do prize it at my love before the reverend's throat in Athens. So I leave you to the protection of the prosperous gods, as thieves to keepers. One imagines he's naked this whole time. Because he did tear his... he's just standing there, just bollocks out, just yelling at these two guys. Stay not, all's in vain. Why, I was writing of my epitaph, it will be seen tomorrow. My long sickness of health and living now begins to mend, and nothing brings me all things. Go, live still. Be Alcibiades your plague, you his, and last you long enough. We speak in vain, but yet I love my country, and am not one that rejoices in the common wreck, as common brute doth put it. Well, that's well spoke. Commend me to my loving countrymen. These words become your lips as they pass through them, and enter in our ears like great triumphers in their applauding gates. Commend me to them, and tell them that to ease them of their griefs, their fears of hostile strokes, their aches, losses, their pangs of love, with other incident throes that nature's fragile vessel doth sustain in life's uncertain voyage, I will some kindness do them. I'll teach them to prevent wild Alcibiades' wrath. I like this well, he will return again. I have a tree, which grows here in my close, that mine own use invites me to cut down, and shortly must I fell it. Tell my friends, tell Athens, in the sequence of degree, from high to low throughout, that whoso pleased to stop affliction, let him take his haste. Come hither ere my tree hath felt the axe, and hang himself. I pray you do my greeting. Trouble him no farther, thus you still shall find him. Come not to me again, but say to Athens, Timon hath made his everlasting mansion upon the beached verge of the salt flood, who once a day with his embrossed froth the turbulent surge shall cover. Thither come, and let my gravestone be your oracle. Lips, let 4 words go by, and language end. What is amiss, plague and infection mend. Graves only be men's works, and death their gain. Sun, hide thy beams. Timon hath done his reign. And he leaves. His discontents are unremovably coupled to nature. Our hope in him is dead. Let us return and strain what other means is left unto us in their dear peril. It requires swift foot, so the senators leave. So, it looks like Alcibiades is going to destroy Athens, and they're like, hey, Timon, do you want to come and help? And he's like, whatever. This is my United States of whatever. The third senator comes in, who has, 1, 2, and 3, the accents get slightly worse. Thou hast painfully discovered are his flies as The Athenian Senate recognizes the gentleman from Texas. Sorry. Doug Timotome. Why not? Why not? Why not? Thou hast painfully discovered are his files as full as thy report. I have spoke the least. Besides, his expedition promises present appeals. Fourth senator. We stand much hazard if they bring not Timon. I met a courier, one mine ancient friend, whom though in general part we were opposed, yet our old love made a particular force and made us speak like friends. The man was riding from Alcibiades to Timon's cave with letters of entreaty which imported his fellowship in the cause against your city, in part for his sake moved. Enter the other senators. Here come our brothers. No talk of Timon, nothing of him expect. The enemy's drum is heard, and fearful scouring doth choke the air with dust. In and prepare. Ours is the fall, I fear, our foes the snare. And they all leave. So these comedy prospects as senators. There's a war on. I love that. Do yourselves a favour later on. Oh my gosh, $500. Thank you, Youngest Prime. Do yourselves a favour later on. Not during the stream, obviously, because you're watching this. But put in "you reposted in the wrong Dimmadome" into YouTube. I love it. It's hilarious. Anyway, here's a soldier in the woods seeking Timon. By all description, this should be the place. Who's here? Speak. Ho! No answer. Oh, what's this? Discovers a tomb. Timon is dead, who hath outstretched his span. Some beast read this, there does not live a man. Dead, sure. And this is grave. What's on this tomb I cannot read it. The character I'll take with wax. Our captain hath in every figure skill, an aged interpreter, though young in days. Before proud Athens he's set down by this, whose fall the mark of his ambition is. Oh, so apparently Timon's dead. Press F to pay respect. Trumpets sound. Here comes Alcibiades with his army. Sound to this coward in lascivious town our terrible approach. The senators appear on the walls. Till now you have gone on and filled the time with all licentious measure, making your wills the scope of justice. Till now myself and such as slept within the shadow of your power have wandered with our traversed arms and breathed our sufferance vainly. Now the time is flush when crouching marrow in the bearer strong cries of itself no more. Now breathless wrong shall sit and pant in your great chairs of ease, and pursy insolence shall break his wind with fear and horrid flight. Noble and young, when thy first griefs were but a mere conceit, ere thou hadst power or we had cause of fear, we sent to thee to give thy rages balm, to wipe out our ingratitude with loves above their quantity. So did we woo transformed Timon to our city's love by humble message and by promised means. We were not all unkind, nor all deserve the common stroke of war. These walls of ours were not erected by their hands from whom you have received your grief, nor are they such that these great towers, trophies, and schools should fall for private faults in them, nor are they living who were the motives that you first went out. Shame that they wanted cunning in excess hath broke their hearts. March, noble lord, into our city with thy banners spread. By decimation and a tithed death, if thy revenues hunger for that food with nature loads, take thou the destined tenth, and by the hazard of the spotted die, let die the spotted. Wow, that's a bit of a... Please don't kill all of us, just randomly kill 1 in 10. All have not offended for those that were. It is not square to take on those that are revenge. Crimes like lands are not inherited. Then, dear countryman, bring in thy ranks, but leave without thy rage. Spare thy Athenian cradle, and those kin which in the bluster of thy wrath must fall with those that have offended. Like a shepherd, approach the fold and call the infected forth, but kill not all together. What thou wilt, thou rather shalt enforce it with thy smile than hew to it with thy sword. That's a nice line. Set but thy foot against our rampart gates, and they shall ope, so thou wilt send thy gentle heart before thee, to say thou'lt enter it friendly. Throw thy glove, or any token of thine honour else, that thou wilt use the wars as they redress, and not as our confusion. All thy powers shall make their harbour in our town, till we have sealed thy full desire. Alcibiades is like, then there's my glove. Descend and open your uncharged ports, those enemies of Timon's and mine own, whom you yourselves shall set out for reproof, fall and no more. And to atone your fears with my more noble meaning, not a man shall pass his quarter or offend the stream of regular justice in your city's bounds, which shall be remedied to your public laws at heaviest answer. 'Tis most nobly spoken. Descend, and keep your words. Messenger comes in. My noble general, Timon is dead, entombed upon the very hem of the sea, and on his gravestone this in sculpture, which with wax I brought away, whose soft impression it interprets for my poor ignorance. Here lies a wretched corpse, of wretched soul bereft. Seek not my name, a plague consume you wicked caitiffs left. Here lie I, Timon, who alive all living men did hate. Pass by and curse thy fill. but pass and stay not here thy gate. These well express in thee thy latter spirits, that thou abhorrest in us our human griefs, scorned our brains flow, and those are droplets which from niggard nature fall, yet rich conceit taught thee to make vast Neptune weep for aye on thy low grave, on faults forgiven. Dead is noble Timon, of whose memory hereafter more. Bring me into your city, and I will use the olive with my sword. Make war breed peace, make peace stint war. Make each prescribe to other as each other's leech. Let our drums strike. And that's the end. Then it just ends. That's the play. That's Timon of Athens. He just dies. Press F in the chat. Okay. I've got the list. I'm crossing off Timon of Athens. So, thank you. we never heard more from Doug Dimmadome, Senator of Athens. So, thank you still to everyone for joining us for Timon of Athens. A couple of hundred people have joined us since the second half. So, if you are just joining us and waking up and joining the stream, hello, my name's Ollie Thorne. I run a YouTube channel called Philosophy Tube. We are live streaming the complete works of Shakespeare, reading the whole thing, basically 24/7 until probably like Tuesday night. We've been going about 36 hours so far. So far we've done Much Ado About Nothing, Troilus and Cressida. Ooh, that was really good. Sonic Fox came and Sonic Fox and I were like Hector and Achilles, and we had a fight. Two Gentlemen of Verona, Jim Sterling was on for that as Valentine. We've done Richard II, Comedy of Errors, Henry IV Parts 1 and 2. We did Midsummer Night's Dream last night with Hannah Witten and Casey Explosion, and Left for London. We was in Merchant of Venice, which I need to cross off somewhere. There it is, Merchant of Venice. So I mean, we're making pretty good progress. So next up, we're gonna do Henry V. We'll probably take about a 15-minute interval. It might be slightly longer because Alice, my on-site producer, is just asleep in the next room, and I'm loath to wake her. And I think she's going to be organising a guest to be in Henry V with me, and also I want to change and possibly have a shower. So we'll take a little bit of a break. In the meantime, though, if you are just joining us, the reason we're doing all this is to raise money for the Samaritans, who are an amazing charity. Who help people in emotional distress. They have a suicide hotline, which is their most famous thing, but it saved my life over a year ago. And we're raising money for them. And so far we have raised $57,000, which is astonishing. Yeah, that is. Yeah, I can't believe it. It hasn't really sunk in yet. And there's a lot more plays to go. We're going to be doing, all through today. We've got Henry V coming up. I'm not sure what else we'll do today, but we're trying to do like one big one every sort of evening time, English evening time. So we'll probably end up doing Macbeth tonight. We'll have all kinds of guests. Got a Lady Macbeth lined up, which I think you'll all like. And that's going to be good fun. Cool. So we'll take a bit of a break. I'll have a wash and a change and a bit of food. And I'll see whether Alice is still asleep. And if she's asleep, I'll just let her keep going, and then we'll come and do Henry V. So thank you very much. See you shortly.